Hi, I'm Patty LaBelle with a helpful holiday tip. Make time with family even more special with the better taste and better nutrition of Eggland's Best. Eggland's Best eggs are the freshest and the best tasting eggs and can make your favorite holiday meals and desserts even better. Plus, they're packed with 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, and 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. That's why Eggland's Best are the only eggs good enough for my holiday table.
A scare in San Francisco this busy holiday weekend. A large ferry with about 80 people on board crashing into the San Francisco ferry terminal. There were no serious injuries.
Passengers on Golden Gate Ferries MS San Francisco say they had no warning of the impending crash.
The captain, there was nothing over the intercom, and you would think that they would have honked a horn or anything to kind of give people a heads up.
The Coast Guard is now looking into the computer systems to determine how fast the boat was traveling and if the captain was in control. All 5 crew members will be drug tested and interviewed.
ABC's Katie Udis. In Minnesota, St. Paul neighborhood jolted Friday by a blast after a house was leveled by an explosion. ABC's Alex Perez has more.
The explosion rocking the entire neighborhood, damaging several other homes, 2 of them condemned. At least 11 people displaced.
40 first responders were called to the scene. The ATF now on site as investigators work to figure out what exactly caused this explosion.
Officials say the owner made it out alive but is said to be in critical condition. In Northern California, the Camp Fire now 95% contained, but officials are still searching for victims and trying to ID the bodies recovered. Jim Davis works for a company trying to match DNA with remains.
The only way that we can identify those people is to have family members submit reference samples so that we can match the 2.
The death toll from the Camp Fire now stands at 84. This is ABC News.
If you've ever had a sore throat, then you know you want something powerful enough to soothe it. Hi, it's Ginger Z for Vicks VapoCool Sore Throat Drops. They're not like the candy cough drops. They really soothe your sore throat pain. It's like a chilly winter day where you left the door open, bringing a VapoCool soothing sensation all the way down your throat. Get them now, so when the first sore throat of the cold season hits, you're ready. Vicks VapoCool Sore Throat Drops. Powerful and soothing. They vaporize sore throat pain. Use as directed.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
ABC News this hour is sponsored by the Woodland Bank.
Today, we're speaking with...
My name is Dr. Jared Berggren, and the name of my business is Berggren Family Chiropractic. I run a chiropractic clinic out in Balsam Township. We've been open for almost 10 years now. I'm mainly treating chiropractic patients, kind of have an all-natural storefront in the clinic itself.
Dr. Berggren moved all his banking services to Woodland Bank.
Well, I was looking for a bank to consolidate some small business loans from when I started up my business. And I was just looking to streamline things, and after talking to Kurt Werner at Woodland Bank, he sure seemed to make that an easy process for me. My wife and I do all of our personal banking there now. We've transitioned everything business and personal over to Woodland Bank, from checking to savings, and it just helped my business move a little more smoothly.
Woodland Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
That's the Woodland way.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. Chance for scattered snow showers today, otherwise overcast. High of 32, winds out of the northwest, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Overcast skies tonight, lows level off around 14. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 18. Temperatures well below average Monday and Tuesday with highs in the mid-teens. A dusting of snow today. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 31.
It's time for the Sports Issue on 1320 KOZY and KOZYRadio.com.
Snap is good. Spot. Kick. It's up. And it's good! Taking the draw is Vekic. She'll win it back to Steffen. Steffen looks cross ice. Instead shovels it toward the net. And a centering pass and a goal by Ellie Tilma.
The Sports Issue is brought to you by Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic, Woodland Bank, Donlinger Ford, Anderson Glass, and Super One Foods.
Still in the penalty kick area, shot toward the net, one block, another beautiful save by DeMars. Behind the net, Peart out front, looks out front, shoots, scores. Waited for the goalie to commit, and Peart gets her fourth.
She's strong, she's fast enough, and she sure as heck is crafty in tight quarters, huh?
The Sports Issue starts now on 1320 KOZY. And a happy Saturday morning to you and yours on this holiday weekend. I'm Jojo Leotti, joined by Sheldon Willis. Good morning. Oh, sorry.
Good morning, Super Joe.
I caught you mid coffee mug raise there.
I thought you were going to give me a longer introduction. You know, I deserve one.
You do. How would you like your longer introduction to be said?
No, that's fine. We're good now.
Okay. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good to hear.
It is, depending where you're driving, the roads may be a little bit sloppy, so be aware this morning.
Some light snow to start off our Saturday morning. And by the way, how was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was absolutely fantastic. And how was yours?
Very nice. Ended up going to the Coleraine Community Center and had a nice meal there with a whole bunch of family. Had a great time.
Very nice. So you like the traditional Thanksgiving meal?
Yes.
So what is the best thing on the table at Thanksgiving?
The stuffing, aka dressing. And
I'm with you there.
Nice.
I'm with you there. My son-in-law's not big on the stuffing. It's like, dude, you're missing the best part.
Yeah. What a weirdo, huh? Any odd Thanksgiving items that you like? Or maybe non-traditional?
Non-traditional. No, I'm really very traditional. If I go around on our, for me, it's pumpkin pie. Although we did do a peanut butter pie for those who didn't like pumpkin this year. So you had your choice of both.
That sounds tasty.
Yeah, it was quite tasty. And green bean hot dish. Thursday we did have roasted Brussels sprouts, which was a different item on our table, and they were okay.
Okay. And I think I know the answer to this, but did you do any Black Friday shopping, Sheldon?
No. You couldn't drag me there with the Wells Fargo horses.
I didn't do any either.
I didn't even do any online. I figured it was too busy. Someone might slap my fingers when I was on the mouse. Didn't do nothing.
It can be treacherous times, dangerous times.
I will say I wandered downtown at Bovee and went to the craft show and Keb's Records. So I didn't buy anything, but I did, and Annabella's. I did browse some of downtown Bovee on Friday.
Hope everybody's holiday weekends are going well. And coming up on today's program, we have Grand Rapids boys hockey in studio at 8:30 as they get set to take on the Greenway Raiders in the season opener tonight. And speaking of Greenway, they'll be joining us at 9:30.
We will keep them separate until tonight.
That's right. Then we'll let them out and they can go at it on the ice here this evening.
I still think my idea of putting a foosball table in and doing a tournament and just calling the winner here would have been fine.
And we both wore our neutral colors here today.
Yes.
No green, no orange, no Rapids or Greenway hats. We're both in gray, actually.
Yeah, you're a little darker gray than I am, but we'll.
I'm kind of like charcoal, and you're light gray.
Yes, exactly. But we're you can check that out on the video stream, and confirm. The stream shooting through the window, they can even see you a little bit today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Oh yeah, there's the camera.
Yes.
I see it now. Whew.
Wave to the camera, Super Joe. There
we go. Nice. We're always adjusting our camera angles, and we're new to this, so we're working on it.
Yes, exactly.
And speaking of video, there will be live streaming video along with audio tonight for the Grand Rapids versus Greenway boys hockey game. You can find that at KOZYradio.com. Sheldon's Twitter feed will be right there, just a little bit to the left on the main page.
And we'll put the link up as soon as we have the video all initialized and ready to go, and we'll have the entire game feed up there. We've had fun with that. We've done a couple girls' games, and those have gone well so far.
And speaking of, there was a girls' game last night. The Grand Rapids Greenway Lightning hosting White Bear Lake at the IRA, and it was a good night once again for the Lightning. A 4-1 win over the White Bear Lake Bears. Hat trick for Claire Vekic, and an empty netter for Hannah Mark. And Rapids Greenway with the win. And it's good to have multiple players who can just put in hat tricks on a given team.
Yeah, and going up this time against one of the better goalies in the state, everyone said that Calla Frank was going to be a riddle to solve, and all the goals scored until the empty netter, all the goals against Frank scored on the power play, and all of them on rebounds. So yes, they had to work to get their goals, but they put in a good effort. I think final shots were 40-13, and it was a dominating performance.
And you know that Rapids Greenway had a dominating performance when somebody who's listening fairly closely to the game, like I was last night, had to wonder, who's in goal for the Lightning tonight? Not very busy last night.
No, she wasn't. Had a couple decent saves. There was a stretch in the second period where White Bear Lake put on a little pressure, but other than that, it was pretty much just roll along for Emily Trask.
With more details and highlights from last night's game, here's Tom Downing.
The Lightning in their own tournament here in town at the IRA Civic Center. They run their record to 4-0, undefeated so far. A big win over now the 1-3 White Bear Lake Bears. Scoring after one period of play was 2-0, the Lightning in front on the strength of two power play goals by Claire Vekic. And the first one, the helpers were Peart and Broking. And the next goal for Vekic, it was Elich and Broking also with the second assist on that. 2-0 after one period of play. Shots on goal after one were 12 for the Lightning, 4 for the Bears. The Bears made it a game early in the second period with 13 minutes and 26 seconds left. It was Daw with the goal, Olsen on the helper, so 2-1 early in period number 2. Looked like things might change, and then the Lightning took control again, got another power play, put another puck in the net, and Claire Vekic got her third.
In front, Frank makes the save. Drotz out front, and Vekic scores the natural hat trick.
Power play goal and hat trick for the night. Drotz on the helper there. Final goal scored by Mark, an open netter.
And back to get it is White Bear Lake. Drotz tries to pinch it. Now a shot toward the net and a goal. Hannah Mark gets the open net goal to seal this one.
Drotz and Elich on the assist. The penalties, 9 for White Bear Lake. 3 of them cost them. 4 for the Lightning, so they stayed in control. Shots on goal, 12-4 after 1, 26-8 after 2, and 40-13. So the Lightning outshot them 16-5 in that third and final period. They go to 4-0. The Bears are now 1-3, and the Lightning have another game tomorrow against Blaine here from the IRA Civic Center. Lightning win from the IRA Civic Center. Tom Downing reporting.
And not only 3 goals for Vekic, but she also drew, 3 penalties, Sheldon?
At least, yeah. De La Rosa did not want to see Vekic anywhere close to her by the end of that game, because every time Vekic skated by, it seemed De La Rosa would reach out and trip her or rub her into the boards and go to the penalty box again.
And in all this recap of the game last night, I don't know that we've said the name Sadie Peart, who's really the, I don't want to say the focal point of the offense. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair, and Sadie had a fine game. There was no letdown in Sadie's game last night. Ran the point, had an assist on one of the Vekic goals, and so on. Everything was fine. There were a lot of penalties, and that puts Sadie at the point a little more and shuffles lines a little bit. But, yeah, Sadie had a fine game. There was no problem there.
And my point being, even if she doesn't light up the score sheet, plenty of other weapons on this Lightning team.
Yeah, no question. I was impressed with Maddie Drotz. I was impressed with Quinn Cassell, Sasha Stefan. There are a lot of people to highlight.
And after the game, speaking of Quinn Cassell, you caught up with her and Claire Vekic.
Post-game interview, Claire Vekich and Quinn Cassell. So is it safe to say you've got your skating legs back, Claire?
Yeah, and my hands too.
Well, and it did look like maybe the puck was just a little ahead of you the first game of the season when I saw you.
Yeah, the first couple games, my hands definitely weren't back. And I guess just now that I'm getting back to the ice, it just comes.
Now, Quinn Cassell, is this the best this team has played so far this year? It was against a better opponent.
Yeah, for sure. I think when we play good teams, we always step up to their level instead of skating down to the worse team's level than we are. So I think that we really worked together really hard tonight because we wanted to get to that level as they were at.
And one of the keys was getting onto the power play. That was just a matter of keeping your feet moving and making them reach, right?
Yeah, as long as you keep your feet moving, you won't usually get penalties called on you, and they start to not move their feet, which gets penalties called on them.
Now, their number one player, Sydney Sharon, looked like a frustrated player, and I think you were shadowing her a bit on some power plays, Quinn. What was the key to keeping her off the scoreboard?
She was really mad whenever we got in her space, and so all you had to do was make her mad a little bit, and she was done. So
you come back right away tomorrow afternoon. Do you like the quick turnarounds, Claire?
Yeah, I think we handle it pretty well, and I like coming back and playing. It's always fun.
Well, good win tonight, Quinn and Claire, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Quinn Cassell and Claire Vekich on the post-game interview yesterday after the GRG 4-1 win over White Bear Lake.
Well, wasn't Quinn one of the ones here on the air talking up the fight that happened during a scrimmage?
Yep.
Little feisty.
So how do you slow down a star opponent? Make her mad.
Well, and I think they did exactly what Quinn said. It wasn't dirty. They didn't take penalties against Sharon, but they were in her space all night long. And she just didn't have room to operate and got very, very frustrated. And this is a top-flight player. Gopher recruit and member of the U18 international team.
And, hey, we'll take a quick break here on the sports issue. We'll come back with more girls hockey scores from last night and some boys hockey scores as well. The sports issue continues next on KOZY.
So some people are asking, what's this warranty for life business? Hey, Max here from Down There Ford, and here's the deal. We are giving you a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and qualified used vehicles. This means engines, transmissions, transfer cases, all the expensive stuff is covered. Plus, you get roadside assistance for 10 years. We're talking towing, service loaners, jump starts, lockout, gas, battery, water, flat tires, you name it. That's how Down There's lowers the cost on your next new ride. You always get more for your money at Down There Ford under the big American flag in Rapids.
Black Friday specials are here at Clafton Skate. Closeout composite stick racks starting at just $49.99. New hockey and figure skates along with used starting at just $20 a pair. They won't last long, so you better get them before they're gone. Starting to look for items to check off your Christmas list? Clafton's has mini goal nets and sticks along with school printed and embroidered hoodies, hats, and more. Stop into Clafton Skate to see all their in-store specials. Located across from ICC, Grand Rapids.
Hello?
Hey, Eddie, remember that checkers game when you told me, take-backs aren't a thing?
What?
Summer of 92.
Are you kidding? Summer of 92?
Well, my new Kasasa loan comes with take-backs.
Listen, Bobby,
Take-backs, Eddie! I finally get take-backs!
Introducing the Kasasa loan. Pay ahead to save on interest, take it back if you ever need it. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Ask for Kasasa at any Woodland Bank location or go to woodlandbank.com. Woodland Bank, member FDIC.
Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic has been providing orthopedic services to the region for over 30 years. They are providers for most insurance companies, including the St. Luke's Network. They provide non-operative and operative management of injuries and fractures, repetitive work and sports-related injuries, and chronic conditions such as arthritis. Dr. Baker and Jeff Temple accept walk-in appointments for acute orthopedic injuries Monday through Friday from 8 till 4. Call 326-6677. Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic, getting you back to the sport of life.
If your windows stick, slip, squeak, or leak, replace them with Andersen windows. With low E-glass, low maintenance exteriors, and rich wood interiors, standard and custom sizes, they can turn simple window replacement into serious home improvement.
Stop and see Derek, your Anderson window specialist at Anderson Glass, Grand Rapids.
Holiday season is here, and Super One Foods is ready to help you prepare a delicious meal. On sale this week, Jennie-O Turkey, 58 cents a pound with a $25 purchase, and Hormel Pure 81 Spiral Sliced Hams, $1.88 a pound. Always a favorite, USDA Choice Black Angus Semi-Boneless Ribeye Roast, $8.98 per pound. 6-ounce fresh blackberries and raspberries, $1.88. No meal is complete without dessert. Choose from fresh baked apple, blueberry, cherry, pecan, or pumpkin pies, $4.99 each. Super One Foods, proud to be a part of your community.
And welcome back to the Sports Issue here on 1320 KOZY Grand Rapids. Joe Gigliotti along with Sheldon Willis as we continue to take a look at some high school hockey scores from last night. On the we mentioned the GRG 4-1 win over White Bear. It was also Blaine 3-1 over Hibbing Chisholm. Did you catch some of that game too, Sheldon?
I did. I caught probably the last half of that game, and that was actually a very competitive game. Hibbing had it to 2-1, and actually hit a post and had some good pressure against Blaine, and then Blaine scoring goal probably midway third period to make it 3-1, and Hibbing couldn't get any closer.
Hibbing coached by former Lightning star Emily Erickson, so she's back at her old stomping grounds here this weekend. It was also Blake 6-4 over Proctor Hermantown, Roseau 5-2 defeating River Lakes, Duluth falls to Edina 7-1, Duluth Marshall 4-3 over St. Cloud, Cloquet Esco Carleton doubles up Princeton Big Lake Becker 4-2, and Crookston 8-1 over the Park Rapids area.
And boys hockey also getting underway last night. Lakeville North in overtime over Cloquet Esco Carleton 3-2. That's the one northern score, I guess, that jumped out at me. Edina over Holy Family 5-1, and Roseau 1-0 over Farmington. That, I don't know, is that a little closer than people would have expected?
I would think it is, yeah, for sure.
As we do have Grand Rapids hockey in the house. If we see, the video doesn't lie. If you're watching on the video stream, you know they're here waiting to go.
And I know you were, during the broadcast last night, commenting on the Little Falls I Falls boys game,
which went 6-5 Little Falls, and that game was 6-5 after 2 and no scoring in the third. So.
Well, that's kind
a shootout through 2, and I don't know if everyone got tired or if the defense clamped down. I have no idea.
And some renovations at Bronco Arena, you were saying?
Yeah, they've got they've replaced the refrigeration there, all new boards, and it looked bright and shiny. They must have had some new paint and some new lights as well. So facelift at Bronco Arena. Grand Rapids doesn't go there anymore, but Greenway will be up there mid-season, I believe, sometime in January.
Looking forward to that. And anything else you wanted to highlight? I know Prep Bowl continues.
Yes, Prep Bowl going on yesterday. Spring Grove gets another 9-man win, 40-18 over Mountain Lake. Caledonia over Barnesville, 21-0. SMB. What is do you know what SMB stands for?
I do not.
Neither do I. But they win the 4A title, 44-18 over Wilmer. And Lakeville North in the 6A final, 28-21 over Eden Prairie. So that means Tammy won't be happy when she comes in on Monday.
And games going on today include Bold taking on Mahnomen Waubun. Also, Lourdes against Fairmont, and Owatonna taking on St. Thomas Academy.
The first 2 games of Prep Bowl today, I think, will be very competitive. Last one, I don't know if anyone can touch St. Thomas in 5A. They are really good.
And we'll take a quick break here on the Sports Issue. When we come back, we will chat with Grand Rapids boys hockey as they get set to start their season tonight against the Greenway Raiders at the IRA. That's coming up next on KOZY.
Take advantage of the any size mattress sale going on now at Lake Country Furniture. Come in today and get Sealy Essential mattresses for just $99. Twin, full, queen, or king. One low price. Lake Country Furniture's experts can help you find the Sealy that's right for you. Any size, just $99. Plus, save on all Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Over 30 sets on display. Lake Country Furniture, South Side, Grand Rapids.
So some people are asking, what's this warranty for life business? Hey, Max here from Donlier Ford, and here's the deal. We are giving you a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and qualified used vehicles. This means engines, transmissions, transfer cases, all the expensive stuff is covered. Plus, you get roadside assistance for 10 years. We're talking towing, service loaners, jump starts, lockout, gas, battery, water, flat tires, you name it. That's how Donlier's lowers the cost on your next new ride. You always get more for your money at Donlier Ford under the big American flag in Rapids.
Holiday season is here, and Super One Foods is ready to help you prepare a delicious meal. On sale this week, Jennie-O Turkey, 58 cents a pound with a $25 purchase, and Hormel Cure 81 Spiral Sliced Hams, $1.88 a pound. Dole Celery, 68 cents each, and fresh U.S. #1 yams, 68 cents per pound. No meal is complete without dessert. Choose from fresh baked apple, blueberry, cherry, pecan, or pumpkin pies, $4.99 each. Super One Foods, proud to be a part of your community.
Hockey Day Minnesota is coming to Bemidji January 17th to the 19th, and now's the time to get your tickets with the early bird ticket discount good through December 31st. Thursday night is Family Night, sponsored by Sanford Health. Friday night features the first Division I men's college game on the Outdoor Hockey Day rink, and Saturday is Hockey Day Minnesota with 3 games outdoors. Tickets are on sale now at the Sanford Center and through Ticketmaster. The Minnesota Wild, Fox Sports North, and Wells Fargo present Hockey Day Minnesota Bemidji January 17th to the 19th with local title sponsor Sanford Health.
A recent survey shows that 92% of Grand Rapids students say their parents don't allow underage drinking at home. We asked some kids why they think parents have rules against underage drinking. Here's what they had to say.
Because it's bad for us. They care about us. We could get hurt and wreck our lives.
Thanks, Grand Rapids parents, for setting rules and keeping us safe.
This Rapids Rising message is brought to you by Grand Rapids in Prevention, funded by the Minnesota Department of Human Services Alcohol and Drug Abuse Division.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. Chance for scattered snow showers today, otherwise overcast. High of 32, winds out of the northwest, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Overcast skies tonight, lows level off around 14. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 18. Temperatures well below average Monday and Tuesday with highs in the mid-teens. A dusting of snow today. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 31.
The sports issue continues here on 1320 KOZY, and live audio and video streaming at KOZYradio.com. We've hit 8:30 here on our holiday Saturday, and Grand Rapids boys hockey starting off their 2018-19 season tonight against the Greenway Raiders. And Greenway coming up later on in the show. We have Grand Rapids here right now. Sheldon, you have 3 Thunderhawks.
Head coach Chris Marinucci, Anthony Del Greco, Kobe Koenig, as we you feel like are you ready to get the actual season started, Coach?
Well, we're excited to. Obviously, we don't have enough time, in my opinion, to work out all the wrinkles, but everybody's on the same playing field. We all start the same day and the same day for the first game, so we're excited.
And how much fall hockey went on with different members of the team, Anthony? Like how much skating time do you get before Chris starts putting you through the paces?
About like 2 months before the season starts, we have captains about twice a week, and that's for guys that aren't in fall sports, but they try to make it as much as possible too.
And you one of the guys running the captain's practice? You got to yell at people and make sure they do what they're supposed to, or is captain's practice more just get out and skate hard and try to get your legs under you?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of like scrimmages. This year we tried to implement a couple of couple of drills before we got straight into scrimmages, but no, mainly it's just kind of get your legs back and get out there.
Yeah, a little hard to organize a lot of drills for captain's practice. Everyone just wants to go, right?
Yeah, everyone's so excited to go.
Yeah.
Now, and of course, last year coming in, everyone knew it was going to be a transition season, and coming off a state championship, which is an incredible high for a team. What feels different about this year, your second year as head coach, Nooch?
Well, obviously, the coaching staff's a little more comfortable, and we know what to expect. Some things got us by surprise last season as our first year, but we got it more under control this year, and we're really excited about. In high school hockey, it's a revolving door. You always have a graduating class, and you have another class coming in, and we had some exciting players that came up, and obviously our seniors are we have a much more. Team speed this year is what I'll say. So we can skate with most teams, and it'll be an exciting year.
Is that what you've seen as you've done some scrimmages and practices? Is stuff is just a little quicker this year, Anthony?
Yeah, I think we have more of a high tempo, and everyone's a little faster and kind of on the same page.
So can the seniors keep up?
I think we can.
just a question, Kobe.
Yeah, no, definitely the sophomore group coming in has got a lot of skill and speed, and so they push us older guys to keep up with them and get better.
Now, and I know there were a number of sophomores getting a lot of playing time last year as well, and just as I was getting the radio liners, so everyone just rolls through. I almost didn't recognize McCray. He came in and did his liner. He's gotten a little bigger over the offseason. Anyone else that's bulked up, stronger, bigger, faster from last year's varsity team?
Yeah, I mean Dawson's probably our biggest player.
Yeah, Willie's got bigger.
Yeah, got a lot of. Well, how many juniors do we even have? We got quite a few, don't we?
Well, I guess I don't really know that.
No one's
track of their grade.
No one's counted. It's just looking at how they play, right?
That's right. That's what it's like for me.
And certainly goaltending. Losing Gabe Holm from last year, a great senior goaltender, but you got to feel pretty good that goaltending's in good hands this year.
Yeah, losing Gabe is always a tough one, and like I said, graduation in high school hockey. What are you gonna do? But we have Carter's definitely capable back there, and we're happy to have him.
He had a great fall league, didn't he? I just saw some stats popping up, and
yes, he did very well this fall in some other leagues. Yeah.
So well, you probably shouldn't give out any secrets because Greenway might be listening. Is there any spot that you can get without telling me what it is? Any spot that you can get Carter in practice?
Yeah. I tried to find his weak spots, and usually it'll work for like one or two plays, and then after that he's got it down. But
it takes about 5 or 6 tries, but once you get in the 5-hole, he gets really
bad.
Yeah,
that's my spot. I always try to go 5-hole, but
whenever you see a 5-hole goal scored, most people say, "Oh, that was a bad goal." It's not really a bad goal, is it? That's a place where there's often some room, right? When you don't have any other room, there's room there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of times if you see his stick move or whatever, that's kind of when I try to sneak at 5-hole, but it's pretty tricky, especially on carts.
Now, goaltending has changed a lot over the past, since the dark ages when you were playing, Nooch. Is the 5-hole more of a spot to go now than the way goalies used to play?
Well, I think it is. I think, I'd say a long time ago, but I don't feel that old. But
I was giving you a hard time.
When I used to play, goalies would stand up more and cut off the angle and keep their legs together. And now we get this butterfly style. I think that opens up that 5-hole for sure. And it is a tough spot on a goaltender to cover because there's only one thing you can do, and that's go down and let gravity pull you down because you can't go any faster than that. And the puck usually beats that.
Yeah, exactly right. You have to get down early, and then it opens up some other things. What are you looking forward to most about this year? As you look for, are there games or weekends that you circle? I know this is Grand Rapids ends up on kind of an every other year schedule. This is the year to rent an apartment in the cities and just stay down there every weekend, right?
I always like playing in the Holiday Classic in Edina. That's like my favorite tournament because you only have one game a day and you get spend a lot of time with your teammates and stuff. It's really fun.
Kobe,
Yeah.
you nodding with that?
Yeah, definitely the Edina Classic's pretty fun, but yeah, like you said, we're down there almost every weekend. It seems like in the month of December and January. So, no, it's good to get on some road trips with the team early and get some bonding time.
Do you think those? Those weekends certainly push up the budget a little bit. I'm sure it's more expensive for the players, for parents, and for the school as well to spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
You have to have support from the administration to make a schedule like this work.
Yeah. There's no doubt that it does cost a little more money for us to travel down the cities as much as we do, but I find it necessary to build the kind of schedule that we want. We have one of the hardest schedules in the league, and we want it that way. We want to play the best and see where we fall. So to do that, we're going to have to travel.
And I know, I'm trying to think how many years ago, but maybe 10, 11 years ago, Grand Rapids could come into the playoffs with 20-5, 21-4 record. That was maybe a little inflated compared to the best teams in the state, and that doesn't happen anymore.
No, the days of the old IRC type thing is long gone for us, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. So we got to travel, and we got to play the best teams.
And was there any thought about making the schedule a little less tough after a tough year last year?
No, actually, I made it harder.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah. I picked up Minnetonka, which is obviously the top team in the state. Picked up White Bear. Picked up some other real good teams down there. So, our schedule's a lot tougher than it was last year.
Chatting with Grand Rapids Hockey here on the Sports Issue. Coach Marinucci, Anthony Del Greco, and Kobe Koenig. Nucci mentioned some things caught you off guard in your first season. What kind of things?
Well, there was just some things that a guy doesn't think about. Like we had a couple players that were playing both JV and varsity, and they weren't wearing the same number as on varsity as a JV, and so we got a huge amount of complaints that people didn't know who they were because their numbers were changing, and so. We got ahead of that this year, and anybody who might be up and down are going to be the same number on JV as they are in varsity. It's just little stuff like that you don't think of, and hopefully we got it all ironed out now.
And how about Anthony on the for the defensemen? Who can we count on for Rapids this year to have a lot of ice time and contribute?
I think Jack Peart and Cam Jagger are kind of our top tier defensemen. They're both really fast and really smart with the puck.
And Peart's a D1 commit already, isn't he?
Yeah, he's really good.
Where's he going? St. Cloud? Okay. Yeah. What makes him good?
Just like the stuff he does with the puck and without the puck, he protects the puck so good in the corners, and he always looks for the pass. He doesn't try to force it ever.
He's a really smart player. He's always like 1 to 2 steps like in front of the play, which is it's nice to see.
So if you would compare him to some standout defensemen that have been at Grand Rapids maybe over the past decade, would you have someone you would compare him to as he comes up as a sophomore?
Yeah, we're
going to put high expectations on him now.
We were kind of talking about that the other day. Is he's almost like kind of a combination of a lot of defensemen that we've played with the last couple of years, which is it's pretty cool. It's not something that you see every day.
So you have some names that you were comparing him to?
Oh man, like what?
His offense is kind of like Stomp.
Yeah, John Stomp Har. We were kind of throwing out a bunch of names, and we were like, oh man, he's a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Okay. Well, when you talk about the steady and pass it ahead, I think a little bit about Jake Bischoff as well, who was just a very steadying influence on the blue line for a lot of years. Now, you guys both remember coming up as sophomores.
Yeah.
And maybe fought for playing time a little more as sophomores than what Peart's going to do. But what are the adjustments, or what are you trying to prepare him for? What are the adjustments that you have to make as a sophomore when you hit varsity?
Yeah, when I was a sophomore, speed was definitely different. Coming from the youth level to the high school level, and so getting adjusted to that, it took a couple games. But yeah, definitely speed, physicality, those couple of things kind of get adjusted to early.
It was speed for me too, but I think Jack will be okay because he played in the high school elite league this fall.
Yeah,
which was mostly top tier players.
So he's already there at that speed. And yeah, I see some sophomores struggle more to adjust to the speed. Others struggled more to adjust to the physical nature of the play. Blake McLaughlin as a sophomore, it was like, it took a few games, took that month of December before the physical part of the game was there.
Yeah, even like some of the bigger sophomores coming in, the physicality is definitely different from the Bantam level to the high school level, and so I think everyone's kind of affected by it, but some take longer than others.
I asked this of a lot of teams. You said Dawson's the biggest player on the team, but who throws the heaviest hit?
Oh man, I don't know for this one.
Last year we got votes for Heitkamp, but he's graduated.
The heaviest hit. Let's take some thinking. And when Cam wants to, he can hit.
Yeah,
Cam
can drill some kids. Yeah.
He has to be in the mood though.
Yeah.
Do you have to maybe get a little chippy with him, get him a little annoyed, and then he'll
going
drill somebody?
Bit, yep.
Okay.
Cody Miller can actually throw a couple big hits. Notice that in captain's practice. He's out right now, but I'm excited for him to come back. So.
Okay. And how many multi-sport athletes do you have? I know Dawson plays football. Cody Miller, you mentioned, he's a baseball player. I saw some football players coming through. Do you have more multi-sport athletes on this year's team than maybe some other hockey teams have had?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a lot of us play, multiple sports, and so I think that definitely, it helps with everything. Team building, also keeping in shape and that kind of stuff. I play golf, so that's not really keeping in shape, but
well, it's so hard to get on and off of that cart. A lot of exercise there.
I was just saying I play golf too, so
we can't really speak, but no, a lot of guys, playing football and soccer. Those guys are definitely, they stay in shape throughout the fall, so that's nice.
So can you tell a difference in what kind of shape the soccer players are as opposed to the football players when you hit the ice? Can you tell a difference? Because they're both in shape. They've both been working out, but it's a little different.
Well, both of them said their first captain's practice, wow, I thought I was gonna be in shape because of soccer and football, but hockey's a completely different thing.
Yeah,
different muscles.
Yeah, a lot of guys are talking about running in the off season and all that stuff. It's completely different when you hit the ice. Skating's a whole different deal.
A whole different set of muscle groups.
Yeah.
But if you're a soccer player, your lungs are there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't get winded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your lungs are there, but you have to get your legs.
Yeah, the legs are definitely something you have to adjust to.
You got Greenway tonight. Is this as big a rivalry as always?
Yeah, we've been this whole week. It's been kind of building up. There's a lot of emotion in the air, and so I'm jacked for it. Really excited.
Is there some back and forth between some of the players? Maybe more so than other years between social media and the fact that there's a lot of mixed teams in the fall that you're playing on?
I don't think there's a lot of chirping right now, but we've played against this group growing up from Squirts to now, so it's always been chippy every game we've played. So everyone's ready to play and knows what's coming.
Everyone knows about the rivalry, and so off the ice, off season, we're obviously friends with some of them, but once it gets to this point, it's definitely a rivalry.
I haven't even talked to anyone.
Yeah, I haven't talked to anyone from Greenway.
Months.
No, not till after the game, guys.
Yep.
And I know Anthony said just growing up all the time, it's a little chippy, it's a little more edgy. Is that something you try to keep a lid on, or is this just don't get stupid penalties, turn loose and go?
Well, I want to keep a lid on it on our side, of
Okay.
course. Yeah, I don't want to take any penalties. I'd rather prefer them to take all the penalties if we can help it. But yeah, I don't.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, right. And I don't want to see. I don't want to see any chippy play. I want to see a good hard skating game, and physical's okay, but we'll keep the cheap stuff out of it if we can.
Is that something that you look at? Some of their best players on Greenway's side are smaller players. Do you say, hey, we've got to be we've got to be physical. We've got to, I don't know if muck it up is the right term, but we've got to bring some body to this.
Yeah, definitely trying to wear them out with the physical side. They have two really solid lines. And then a few solid D, but just trying to wear them out with all the guys that we have. I think that'll be key tonight.
You think there's a little more depth that you can roll your third line out there a little more?
Yeah, even mixing our fourth line too. We have a really deep team this year with a lot of forwards.
Is that a difference from? Do you have more confidence up and down the team? That I mean, I know it's early on. We got to see everyone work in a game situation, Coach. But that there's a little more depth. You can depend on a few more players.
Oh, I think that's definitely a difference from last year. We have, I think, 4 lines that can probably play, and I'm going to try to utilize that.
Chatting with Grand Rapids Hockey here on the Sports Issue. And Nooch, what's the balance between season opener, big rival, and kind of wanting the guys to give it their all and go full speed, but not try to do too much by themselves? How do you kind of balance that?
Well, that's really a big concern for me because we're going to have quite a few young players playing their first game today, and I'm worried about nerves. I'm worried about them trying to do too much. I'm worried about everything you just talked about, and I'm just going to try to talk to them and say, make the simple plays, play your game, make the plays, but be simple, and hopefully that first period goes okay for them, and then they get some confidence, and then we can take off maybe.
So who's more nervous before a game? You, the players, or the coach?
I don't know. I've never
been in the coach's shoes,
Yeah,
but we're excited would be, I guess, a better word than nervous. Obviously, there's some jitters, but more just can't wait to get out there.
I've really never noticed a coach be nervous because that's kind of a role you kind of always looked up on.
Yeah.
And it's they're always the ones getting us going. So.
So you hide all the nerves. You just.
Well, I don't really.
Do you have a tell? You know, like in poker, there's a tell. Do you have a tell that you say, if I do this, that probably means I'm nervous?
Not that I'm aware of. I generally don't get too nervous about games. I worry about the kids. Are they prepared? Are they ready? I'm way more worried about them than anything I'm doing.
So you get Greenway tonight, and then next week, Benilde and Minnetonka. Minnetonka, we didn't mention that score, but they take down St. Thomas Academy fairly convincingly last night. There's no ease into this. You don't have a Gophers non-conference schedule to feast on to start this year, Kobe.
No, definitely, like Nooch said, we have a really hard schedule, and so I think that prepares us for, in the future coming into, February, and playing the harder teams definitely gets us ready for the playoffs.
So do you have a goal right now? Do you say this is the record we'd like to have by the end of the year, or are the goals personal, or are they more performance oriented, team wise? I don't know. How do you set goals as the season starts, Anthony?
We haven't talked much about it yet, but we're not really record wise. We want to compete, have a lot of compete, and a lot of chances, and we want the games to be if we lose, we want it to be 2-1 or 3-2 instead of 7-1.
And I know there were a lot of games last year, even though some scores were close, you were still being outshot by a huge, the territorial play was not in your favor most games. Is that something say we want to have some zone time attacking this year and have that a little more even? Is that part of the goal?
Yeah, just like Anthony said, performance-wise, we want to stick with teams a lot better than we did last year, and just give them a run every time that we go out on the ice.
It felt like there were flashes even towards the end of last year where that started happening. I looked at the first period of the Cloquet game that was played here. Well, actually, first period of both Cloquet games, you guys were flying, and it's hey, where's this team all the time? What would click when that would happen last year, Anthony?
I think everyone was moving their feet really well and making the passes and doing all the simple things right, not getting worried about turnovers and.
Yeah, like you said, later in the year, those sophomores are getting a lot more experience, and they're kind of at that point they've adjusted to the high school level, and so I think that's a big deal.
And any changes to your coaching staff this year, Nooch?
Yeah, we got a little bit of a different look. Obviously, Bo Geisler is still the varsity assistant coach, but we got Curtis Simonson aboard as the head JV coach and Kyle Kuhlmeiners as the assistant. And so we got a little different look in the JV, but it'll be all right.
And with Bo, do you mostly work with forwards and let him take care of the defense? Is that how you split that up usually?
I try to. I I let Bo do whatever Bo's going to do with them defense back there. I have confidence in him and his decisions, so I really don't worry about what Bo's going to do back there.
Now, and I know we've talked about this through the years, Nooch. You, as a player, were very much a puck control person. You want the puck on your stick. You want to dictate the action by being in control.
Right.
You had to adjust your coaching a little bit last year. Do you see more puck control capabilities on this year's team?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I always wanted the puck in my control, and I had a bunch of coaches tell me, "Oh, you got to dump it in and go get it." And I'm like, why would I give it to them and try to go get it from them when I have it now? I don't want to go chase them. So hopefully we can do that. Obviously, there's times where you have to throw it in if you want to change it, or you got to get the puck in and it's been a long shift or something. But hopefully we have a lot more puck control this year.
Teams will dictate that a little bit to you as well, won't they, Anthony? Where if they're going to really stack the blue line, you may have times when you have to dump and chase.
Yeah, for sure. And we have to get on the forecheck because a lot of times our forecheck's going to work, I think, if we go hard.
So, and I know the forecheck 2 years ago in that state championship team, the forecheck, when it got buzzing, was a thing of beauty. Is there a system to that forecheck, or is it just a matter of tenaciousness?
Yeah, just hard work. Definitely.
And hard work.
Yeah, when we get the puck deep, being in the right position makes a huge deal to shut them down so they can't get back out of the zone. It leads to a lot of turnovers.
And certainly the talent level makes a difference in that forecheck too, right? I mean, you have a Gavin Hayne, a Blake McLaughlin, and a Micah Miller going after it. All of a sudden, the forecheck gets a lot better.
Yeah, you can design just about any forecheck you want with that group, but yeah, I think the key is a little bit of that team speed. We got to get on them before they have control of the puck and turn it up. And if you can do that, then I think you're at an advantage.
So has that been some of the emphasis in practice? Get in quick and get that forecheck rolling?
Yeah, we've been trying to keep the practice tempo up and keep our speed throughout the the entire ice sheet. So.
Well, see, last week I said we should just bring you guys in. We'll set up a foosball table. We'll just do a foosball tournament and call it good for bragging rights with you guys in Greenway. But you'd rather play the hockey game, I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, foosball is not my specialty.
No, not your specialty.
No.
You'd probably lose in that.
Yeah.
I don't play that.
Yeah.
What? You don't play it either?
Just get the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just
like golf.
Yeah.
No, it's not just like well, I know at the beginning of a season, there's always the expectations, and it feels like unwrapping a present at Christmas, right? Getting the season underway. It's like, oh, it's all shiny and new.
Definitely.
So looking forward to it, and good luck, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Grand Rapids Hockey, that's head coach Chris Marinucci, along with Anthony Del Greco and Kobe Koenig. We'll take a break. Coming up, ABC News at 9, and then we'll chat some Wild, Wolves, and Gophers. It was a good day for all three yesterday. And then 9:30, Greenway Raider Hockey in studio. 1320 KOZY.
So some people are asking, what's this warranty for life business? Hey, Max here from Donnelly Ford, and here's the deal. We are giving you a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and qualified used vehicles. This means engines, transmissions, transfer cases, all the expensive stuff is covered. Plus, you get roadside assistance for 10 years. We're talking towing, service loaners, jump starts, lockout, gas, battery, water, flat tires, you name it. That's how Donnelly's lowers the cost on your next new ride. You always get more for your money at Donnelly Ford under the big American flag in Rapids.
Over the past century, as our community has grown, we've been right there growing along with you. During this time, some things have remained constant. Our dedication to positively impacting the lives of those in our community while providing you with world-class medical care. However, none of this would have been possible without the support of you, our friends, family, neighbors, and staff. And for that, we're grateful. Grand Itasca Clinic and Hospital. Rooted here, growing here.
Take advantage of the any size mattress sale going on now at Lake Country Furniture. Come in today and get Sealy Essential mattresses for just $99. Twin, full, queen, or king. One low price. Lake Country Furniture's experts can help you find the Sealy that's right for you. Any size, just $99. Plus, save on all Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Over 30 sets on display. Lake Country Furniture, South Side, Grand Rapids.
When you need to find a part at a price that's right, that red and blue sign is just within sight. Roll in to CarQuest and roll on.
Take advantage of these great deals. Buy one, get one, 50% off on these great products like Seafoam motor treatment products, 12-ounce can of WD-40 with Smart Straw, and select Valvoline chemicals. Best Buy a 10-ounce stable for only $4.99. Great prices every day at CarQuest Grand Rapids.
Roll in to CarQuest and roll on.
The Black Friday sales event is going on now at Hibbing Chrysler Center. For the first time ever, Hibbing Chrysler Center is offering dealership employee pricing on all new vehicles in stock. Dealership employee pricing, and you keep all of the rebates. Hibbing Chrysler has the largest selection of Ram trucks and Jeeps in the Northland. The Black Friday sales event with dealership employee pricing all month long at Hibbing Chrysler Center. Right on the corner, right on the Beltline, and right on the price.
The Black Friday sales event is going on now at Hibbing Chrysler Center. For the first time ever, Hibbing Chrysler Center is offering dealership employee pricing on all new vehicles in stock. Lease the new 2019 Jeep Cherokee for just $208 a month. Hibbing Chrysler Center has the largest selection of Ram trucks and Jeeps in the Northland. Now is the time to buy. Don't miss dealership employee pricing on new vehicles. Only for the month of November at Hibbing Chrysler Center. Right on the corner, right on the Beltline, and right on the price.
This holiday season, don't spend hard-earned money on impulse gifts that end up in the attic. Consider useful quality items that add to the value and enjoyment of your home. Consider the amazing craftsmanship of our beautiful Amish and antique furniture at Shaw Florist. Shaw Florist has the finest quality, most unique selection of home furnishings in the entire Northland. Give us a call at 326-SHAW, online at shawflorist.com, or stop in on Pagagma Avenue in downtown Grand Rapids.
Join us for our outstanding breakfast brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the 17th Street Grill located inside the Timberlake Lodge. Sunday brunch features waffles, eggs, breakfast meats, biscuit and sausage, potatoes, fruit, pastries, and much more. Adults $12, kids ages 4 to 10 $6, and children 3 and under eat for free. Large group reservations suggested. Enjoy your Sundays at the Timberlake Lodge and 17th Street Grill.
Join Chef Quade Feckenhuer each month at the Minnesota Discovery Center for a 5-course dining experience. Not only will you get to discover delicious flavors, but you'll also get to indulge your inner chef by learning how it's prepared. Each course for the night will feature a wine pairing from Johnson Brothers Distributing. Reservations are required by Monday, November 26th. Check out the Minnesota Discovery Center's website for a menu and for more details. That's mndiscoverycenter.com.
1320 KOZY Grand Rapids. Locally owned, locally operated.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A new report out on climate change compiled by more than a dozen federal agencies is warning of a national threat caused by climate change. The 1,600-page assessment paints a dire picture if nothing is done. ABC's Whit Johnson with details.
The potential grim consequences released in the federal report. Government scientists saying climate-related threats to America's physical, social, and economic well-being are rising. The president previously called climate change a hoax. The assessment from 13 federal agencies asking the administration to take urgent action against dire threats and curb climate change to avoid substantial damages to the U.S. economy, environment, and human health.
The White House pushing back against the report's findings, saying it's based on the most extreme case scenarios. President Trump is sticking to a hard line on the asylum seekers amassing at the border with Mexico, threatening to shut it down completely. Now the city of Tijuana is declaring a humanitarian crisis as migrants arrive there and wait a request an asylum in the U.S.
The mayor of Tijuana requesting aid from the United Nations as nearly 5,000 Central American migrants wait to apply for asylum in the U.S. Fleeing violence and poverty, a group of migrants from Honduras waving flags and demanding to be let into the United States. The town's food and shelter pushed to the limits. All this as President Trump threatens to shut
ABC's Tara Palmieri. Black Friday and the rush to grab the deals is over. In its wake, a crush of crowds and some violence in some areas.
Shopping madness at times ending in senseless violence. In New Jersey, police are searching for a gunman after a man was shot in the arm after a fight broke out, sending shoppers running for their lives. And 2 men stabbed Friday evening at Macy's in Syracuse, New York.
ABC's Lindsay Davis reporting. You're listening to ABC News.
If you've ever had a sore throat, then you know you want something powerful enough to soothe it. Hi, it's Ginger Z for Vicks VapoCool Sore Throat Drops. They're not like the candy cough drops. They really soothe your sore throat pain. It's like a chilly winter day where you left the door open, bringing a VapoCool soothing sensation all the way down your throat. Get them now, so when the first sore throat of the cold season hits, you're ready. Vicks VapoCool Sore Throat Drops. Powerful and soothing. They vaporize sore throat pain. Use as directed.
O'Reilly. Don't miss the 5-day sale going on now through November 27th at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Stop by for a twin pack of Sylvania Silver Star Ultra headlights and get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after mail-in rebate. See farther and more clearly with Silver Star headlights at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
An associate of political operative Roger Stone telling ABC News he's negotiating a plea deal with special counsel Robert Mueller's office. Dr. Jerome Corsi has been a person of interest in the Mueller probe for the past several months as a possible link to Stone. Here's ABC's David Wright.
Dr. Jerome Corsi is one of a dozen associates of political operative Roger Stone to be interviewed by Mueller's team about what, if any, contacts Stone may have had with WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. WikiLeaks was the conduit Russian hackers used to release thousands of stolen Democratic emails. Stone has emphatically denied speaking or meeting with Assange.
It's been a showdown in the making for years. Two golf legends and rivals teeing off with millions on the line. The match between Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson in Las Vegas had golf fans on the edge of their green and couch.
Tiger versus Phil lasted beyond 18 holes, a sudden death match that continued into the dark. The two stayed neck and neck throughout play. It all came down to a few feet. Phil outstrokes Tiger after 22 holes and finally claims victory.
ABC's Adrian Bankert. And an update this morning on NFL legend and coach Mike Ditka, his longtime agent Steve Mandel issuing a statement about reports of heart issues, saying, quote, Coach Ditka had a mild heart attack earlier this week. Doctors inserted a pacemaker and he's doing much better. He appreciates the outpouring of support and expects to be home soon. This is ABC News.
Shop Kohl's Cyber Doorbusters, Saturday and Sunday only, in-store and online. Take 10 to 50% off toys. Get the Fitbit Charge 3, $119.99. And a New Wave Air Fryer or Keurig Mini are just $79.99. Plus, take an extra 20% off. Shop Cyber Doorbusters, Saturday and Sunday only, at Kohl's. Select styles, 20% offer, valid November 24th through 28th with promo code 20SAVINGS. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. Chance for scattered snow showers today, otherwise overcast. High of 32, winds out of the northwest, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Overcast skies tonight, lows level off around 14. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 18. Temperatures well below average Monday and Tuesday with highs in the mid-teens. A dusting of snow today. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 30.
Second hour of the Sports Issue here on 1320 KOZY. Live streaming audio and video at KOZYradio.com. Joe Gigliotti back with Sheldon Willis as we kick off our second hour. Big thanks again to Grand Rapids Hockey for stopping by. They'll be taking on Greenway tonight, and we still have the Raiders in studio in about 25 minutes. Sheldon, I have to say, it was a very happy Friday for our Minnesota sports teams.
Yes, it was, and it started early. My goodness, the Timberwolves tipping off at 11.
Yep, against Brooklyn.
Noon. Eastern.
Yes.
But even so, and there was a lot of talk in the pregame show that I was listening to most of the pregame show, and there was a lot of talk about why teams just have so much trouble getting up and playing good basketball early in the day instead of a normal start time. But the Timberwolves did okay.
That they did. A 112-102 win over Brooklyn. Yeah, one of the nice things about, one of the many nice things about the holidays, you get some unique start times, including, here in the Midwest, some morning basketball. Let's get some highlights from the Wolves' win yesterday over Brooklyn. Starting with first quarter action, Taj Gibson puts the Wolves up by 3. Pardon me, up by 7.
6:50 left to go. Down the lane goes Teague to Gibson in the corner, all alone for the triple try. Sets himself, fires, and buries it. That's the 8th three of the season for Taj Gibson. That's a new career high for him.
Second quarter action, we have Dario Saric with an and one.
Russell probing into the front court, works off a high screen by Davis, but Davis, his big rear end, knocked the ball free from his own teammate. There's Saric back the other way, driving layup good, and he took the contact right to the side of the head.
A little later on, second half action, Karl Anthony Towns. He had a big third quarter.
Towns gets free of his man and rocks the rim. He just got right by Hollis Jefferson, slams it through with a right hand, and Cat has come alive here in the third. 17 of his 19 points here in the quarter.
And then later on, fourth quarter action, Covington kind of putting a seal on this one.
1:20 left to play. Teague has it right in the lane, bottled up by Dinwiddie. Backdoor feed. Covington, he'll rise to the rim and rock it with two hands, and that may seal the deal. 108-100 with 1:14 left. The Timberwolves can smell it. Their first road win of the season is just 74 seconds away.
And Alan Horton putting a wrap on the win.
3 seconds left to play here in Brooklyn. The horn will sound at the Barclays Center, and the Wolves have swept the season series against Brooklyn. 112-102 is the final. Behind 25 off the bench for Derrick Rose, and the Wolves turn 19 turnovers into a season high, 31 points. A 10-point win for the Wolves' first road win of the 2018-19 season.
Obviously would have liked to get that first road win a little bit earlier in the season, but still nice to get that one under their belts. And how much, Sheldon, do you think finally executing the Jimmy Butler trade has really loosened the reins on this Wolves team?
Well, they've only had one, if you want to say, clunker since the Butler trade, and that was, of course, the Memphis game last Sunday. But other than that, they have looked. They've looked like a different team. They've looked fun. They've looked in sync. Derrick Rose has looked good, and I've liked the pairing of Rose out there with Tyus Jones. With two ball handlers out there, and I don't know. It's just it's looked like a different team. It does look like the weight of the world has gone off of their shoulders.
And in last night's game, Alan Horton mentioned the game-high 25 points for Derrick Rose, 21 for Karl Anthony Towns, and Brooklyn native Taj Gibson with a double-double, 16 points and 11 rebounds. And head coach Tom Thibodeau on the Wolves forcing 19 Brooklyn turnovers to help in the win.
That was big, and then we didn't turn it over either, so I thought that was a big part of the game. I thought we got in foul trouble early. I thought our bench came in and did a really solid job.
And Taj Gibson here on getting the first road win of the season.
Everybody's just trying to scratch wins out in the West. This was a good one. That's a team that really can sneak up on you late in the third and fourth quarter. I'm just happy we were able to get one.
And the Wolves, after starting the season 4-9, are now 8-11. They take on Zach LaVine and the Chicago Bulls tonight at Target Center. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip. And we will not have that game. Gopher football may stretch into that a little bit, right, depending on the post game and how long that goes. In other action last night, it was the Golden Gopher hockey team staying at home as they took on the wow, I'm just drawing a blank here, Sheldon.
Michigan State.
Thank you, Michigan State. A lot going on. Holidays, Black Friday. I guess I had too much turkey. But Golden Gophers with an impressive 7-2 win over the Spartans last night. Rem Pitlick getting the party going early in the first.
Minnesota shovels it up the left wing boards for Gates, who stepped across the blue line, sends it goalward. They score! Pitlick breaking to the net. Backhand deflection, and the Gophers lead 1-0.
That goal at 3:17 of the first, and then at 3:42 of the first, Tyler Sheehy would add on.
They score! They come right back, the same trio. This time Gates centers it into the slot, and Sheehy rifles a wrister home. 2-0 Minnesota.
And then Brandon McManus, there we are, would add on some more.
3 Spartans overskated. Gophers right back to the rocks. McManus shoots, he scores! Great pass by Walker, and McManus finishes.
So Gophers led 3-1 after one, and then second period action, Tyler Sheehy would get his second of the game just 54 seconds into the second period.
Phillips holds it in, playing it behind the net, but it escapes the reach of Gates. Goes around to the right point this time. Sadik shot blocked. Gates the rebound, he scores! It trickles through John Letherman, and it's 4-1 Gophers.
And then Gophers would add on at the 7:12 mark of the second, Sammy Walker, his third of the season.
Crossing the line on the left wing side with McLaughlin, and the Walker shoots and scores! How did that puck get on his stick? But it did. And McLaughlin's shot was partially deflected. Walker was right there in front of it and finished it off.
Fourth assist of the season for McLaughlin as he's getting his legs and confidence after being injured for the first few weeks of the season.
Also took a holding penalty, I saw, so he got on the score sheet there too.
That too, yes. And let's see, the Gophers would add a couple more for the 7-2 win over Michigan State. By the way, last night, we mentioned McLaughlin. He wears number 27. On the Michigan State side, their number 27 was another former Thunderhawk, Mitchell Madsen.
Yeah, good to see Madsen out on the D1 ice. I know he's been working for that for a few years after graduating from high school, so that was nice to see. So now, former Gophers now currently actually playing on D1 rosters. You have Gavin Hain at North Dakota, Micah Miller at St. Cloud State, Blake McLaughlin, and of course Mitchell Madsen and Hunter Shepard. All I could think of was Staysko, and he's not there yet at UMD. Shepard. Those 5?
Yes, I believe that's the current ones.
And there's some more still playing juniors and expecting to play in the next few years.
Right. John Stampahar will be playing at Canisius, and then, as you mentioned, Staysko will be going to UMD.
Alex Adams to BSU, right?
Yes, and he's there already, actually.
Okay, he is there.
Yep.
Okay, so I missed one.
So, yeah, an impressive group of Thunderhawks the last several seasons.
That's how you win a state tournament, I believe.
Yes. Let's see. Other college hockey scores from last night. Little quieter slate with the Thanksgiving weekend, but it was Minnesota State 3-2 with the win over Bemidji State. So the Mankato Mavericks continue to roll. Minnesota State now 10-1 on the season and a perfect 5-0 in the WCHA. It was North Dakota 5-2 over Anchorage, Denver 3-1 over Providence, and Michigan and Wisconsin skate to a 1-1 overtime tie. On the ladies' side, it was the Golden Gophers 8-2 winners over St. Lawrence, Wisconsin 3-2 in overtime over Harvard, and Minnesota State over Lindenwood 1-0.
And we talked Wolves basketball. We didn't talk Wild hockey. They were in action yesterday as well.
Yes, they were.
And they had a good game.
That they did. Mind if we take a really quick break and be back?
You're in command, my friend.
All right. And we'll also look ahead to Gophers and Wisconsin football as well. Sports Issue continues next on KOZY.
Honey, we should get that new Kasasa loan.
Oh, yeah, it lets you pay ahead.
And take back the extra money if you need it.
Or you could leave it in and save on interest.
Ooh, or take it back and get a swimming pool.
Or just pay off the loan faster.
Or take it back.
Or pay ahead.
Introducing the Kasasa loan, the only loan with takebacks. One more way you can take back banking.
Ask for Kasasa at any Woodland Bank location or go to woodlandbank.com.
Woodland Bank, member FDIC.
If your patio doors stick, squeak, or leak, replace them with Anderson patio doors. Their low maintenance and wide range of sizes can turn patio door replacement into serious home improvement.
Stop and see Derek, your Anderson window specialist at Anderson Glass, Grand Rapids.
Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic has been providing orthopedic services to the region for over 30 years. They are providers for most insurance companies, including the St. Luke's Network. They provide non-operative and operative management of injuries and fractures, repetitive work and sports-related injuries, and chronic conditions such as arthritis. Dr. Baker and Jeff Temple accept walk-in appointments for acute orthopedic injuries Monday through Friday from 8 till 4. Call 326-6677. Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic, getting you back to the sport of life.
Get the ultimate Black Friday deals at JCPenney. Hurry in now and save up to 40% on select major appliances. Plus, buy more, save more. Get up to a $600 Visa prepaid card when you buy 2 or more qualifying appliances. Plus, get up to 36-month special financing with your JCPenney credit card through 11/29. JCPenney, style and value for all. Event is valid 10/31 through 11/29. Conditions and exclusions apply. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. Must request at time of purchase. See store or jcp.com/appliances for details.
And now, a page from the diary of Flo.
Dear Diary, the ghost is back. This house is protected through Progressive, but that doesn't mean it's not haunted. How else would you explain that radiator-like clanking sound? Or the moon-colored light in the hallway that's gone by morning? Maybe he never bundled home and auto, and he's doomed to suffer an eternity without the savings.
Save an average of 17% on car insurance when you bundle home and auto through Progressive.
What was that wind-like sound? Oh, right, the wind.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
So some people are asking, what's this warranty for life business? Hey, Max here from Donlier Ford, and here's the deal. We are giving you a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and qualified used vehicles. This means engines, transmissions, transfer cases, all the expensive stuff is covered. Plus, you get roadside assistance for 10 years. We're talking towing, service loaners, jump starts, lockout, gas, battery, water, flat tires, you name it. That's how Donlier's lowers the cost on your next new ride. You always get more for your money at Donlier Ford under the big American flag in Rapids.
Welcome back to the Sports Issue here on 1320 KOZY. Joe Gigliotti along with Sheldon Willis. Some light snow showers early this morning. Be careful out there. Some of the roads not in pristine shape, a little slick. And looking at our forecast for the rest of today, chance of a rain-snow mix and temperatures kind of dropping to the low to mid-20s by about 5 o'clock. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high near 19. Monday and Tuesday, mostly cloudy, mid-teens. Right now, sitting at 30 under cloudy skies. Our time is 20 after 9. As mentioned just before break, Minnesota Wild in afternoon action yesterday against the Winnipeg Jets. Again, a Black Friday odd start time of 3 o'clock on a Friday. But it was worth the odd time, as the Wild in comeback fashion defeat Winnipeg 4-2. Wild down 2-0 heading into the third, and then Minnesota would have one heck of a third period, starting with Nino Niederreiter cutting the Jets' lead to 1.
Right side now for Niederreiter into the offensive zone. Niederreiter high slot. Niederreiter with a chance. He scores! Nino Niederreiter from the left circle puts the Wild right back into the hockey game.
And Eric Fehr would tie the hockey game.
Niederreiter playing one of his best games of the season. Fights his way through Trubiskyk. Back behind the Winnipeg goal. Tried it to the side. They score! Niederreiter got it back out in front. And I think it's Eric Fehr that knocked it in for Minnesota. Hard work by Niederreiter pays off. We're tied 2-2.
And then one Eric didn't want to be outdone by the other. Mr. Stahl puts the Wild ahead.
Dumba through center, gaining the Winnipeg blue line. Right circle, takes a shot, knocked down by Hellebuyck. They score! Hellebuyck had it, knocked it down, lost it. The Wild score on the rebound.
Terrific penalty kill by Minnesota, and it's going to be Minnesota getting credit for this one as well, as Eric Stahl gets another goal.
And then Zach Parisi would ice it with a really impressive chip shot from center ice into an empty net.
Back behind the Winnipeg team, they pulled it for the extra skater. Hard check that time, Bufflin on Charlie Coyle. Puck comes loose to Spurgeon. Spurgeon for Parisi. Backhands it. He scores! Parisi into the empty net with the backhander right in front of the Winnipeg bench. The Wild lead 4-2 with 1:09 to go.
And that would be your final. Bob Kurtz on the Wild Radio Network. Good to have Bob back behind the mic after he was a little under the weather earlier in the week. Still sounds a little under the weather, but he'll get back to full strength.
He sounds much more normal than the last game I heard highlights from Mr. Kurtz. Yeah, beautiful comeback. And there was a little altercation in that game. Were you watching it? Can you describe it to me?
Yes. Well, let me back up a moment. There was J.T. Brown put a pretty hard hit on Andrew Kopp of Winnipeg. Kopp left injured. And then a little later on, Adam Lowry with a kind of an elbow not too long after that. And then after that elbow, Sealer came over to kind of defend his teammate who took the elbow. He got pushed into the Winnipeg bench, and there was a altercation in the Winnipeg bench with a whole lot of gloves and sticks flying. Coaches tried to get it under control. It didn't get all that nasty, but it was certainly unique. Foligno was in the bench. There were guys underneath, multiple bodies. It was a mess. So yes, amidst the big comeback, there was quite the fracas in the bench.
Yeah, usually you take those things out on the ice.
Right, exactly. But yeah, I believe it was Sealer who got just pushed right through the door of the bench.
As Winnipeg was making a change,
exactly.
From what I read.
Yep.
So it was not intended to go there, but...
And Wild head coach Bruce Boudreau on the win over Winnipeg.
I thought it was just a heck of a hockey game. You know, I mean, quite a difference in, the crowd was really energized from the beginning, and I think it was more like a playoff game than it was, like, say, taking nothing away from teams that we play in the Eastern Conference and stuff, but that's what I thought. It was definitely a Central Division game.
Yeah, I had the same thoughts as coach there. It was a playoff atmosphere, and extra impressive for a 3 o'clock game on Black Friday. Yes, there's going to be a pretty good, decent-sized crowd, but, you know, day after Thanksgiving, 3 o'clock start can be a little lethargic, but was not the case in St. Paul. And Eric Stahl on the fun atmosphere at the X.
Being down like we were, to be able to come back adds a little bit more emotion and energy to it within our building at home, but I thought we played hard all night and we competed and had a good day, and we were just fortunate to be on the right side of it at the end.
And more Stahl on the emotion of the game and the animosity with the Jets.
The whole night it was competitive, like I said, and emotional, but especially the third period. And everybody's engaged, the bench engaged, the crowd's engaged. Both teams competed really hard, and things happen in the game, and you got to do your best at times to keep an even keel, and sometimes it's more difficult than others. But you see that emotion sometimes spill over, and it did in a couple plays. And at the end of the night, it was fortunate for us to be on the right side of it.
Emotions sometimes spill over and sometimes spill into the bench. And that they did. Wild with the 4-2 win over Winnipeg. Minnesota in second place in the Central Division. Hot on the heels of Nashville, who got blown out by St. Louis last night. Which reminds me, quick note, since the last time we talked, Mike Yeo fired as the Blues coach.
Yes, I did notice that. And just popping up as we were talking, a great shot on my Twitter feed, that a shot from behind the Wild bench, or behind the Winnipeg bench during that melee in the bench. That's a lot of people in close proximity.
It was quite the mass of humanity, yes. So the Wild with the win there. And let's see, also, just looking ahead to a couple games, shifting gears to football, Golden Gophers wrap up the regular season this afternoon as they take on Wisconsin. Been quite a long time since the Gophers have gotten the axe. Gophers playing in Madison today. Gophers haven't beaten the Badgers since 2003 and haven't won in Wisconsin since 1994. Gophers losing last week. Badgers coming off a triple overtime win yesterday, or last week rather. 1:30 pregame, 2:30 opening kick here today.
No, we've got Greenway Hockey, and if you're watching the video stream, you know they're here. We're ready to go.
I didn't know if they wanted to hop in on the football. I didn't want to.
Anyone want to take a crack at predicting Gophers Wisconsin today? One of the toughest picks anyone will ever make, right?
I'm going to have to say Wisconsin by about 21.
3 touchdowns for Wisconsin. What are they favored by, Super Joe? Is that covering the spread if they win by 21?
Not sure. I'll get my research team on it.
Oh, okay. One of the interns coming up.
Yeah.
So a convincing win for the Red at Camp Randall.
I think so. Yeah.
But the Gophers have a lot to play for. They can become bowl eligible, get the axe, all of that stuff.
Wow, that would be actually kind of neat.
Yeah.
I would never have thought that.
A 6-6 year gets you into a bowl, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Probably the popcorn bowl or something.
Yeah, the Motor City Bowl again in where is that? Nashville, Memphis,
something like that.
Motor City is in Detroit.
Right.
There's another
Music
one.
City Bowl.
Music City Bowl
There
in
we
Nashville.
go.
That's the one they always get.
Yes. Also, tomorrow night it'll be Vikings and Packers. Sunday night football. Vikings trying to stay in the wild card race at this point after the Bears win on Thanksgiving and really putting it, I don't want to say out of reach, but pretty close for the division crown.
It depends how long Trubisky's out. They're not going to be good teams without Trubisky, in my opinion.
You don't have faith in Chase Daniel?
No.
Okay. Vikings.
Detroit is not a great team.
True enough. Vikings and Packers tomorrow night, 6 o'clock pregame, 7:20 opening kick on our sister station 96.9 KMFY. We'll take a quick break here on the Sports Issue. We'll be back with Greenway Raider Hockey. They're in studio coming up next on KOZY.
Minnesota News Network, I'm Brent Palm. Well, Paul Bunyan's axe on the line today when the Golden Gophers play at Wisconsin. Head coach P.J. Fleck says the famed rivalry trophy, something they'd love to win.
It's all about the experience of the Big Ten. You know, the reason why you come to Minnesota is playing in rivalries like this. We have so many of them, but this one is really, really, really important. They're important for both fan bases, just important for both states.
If the Gophers pulled off the upset today, not only would they win the axe for the first time since 2003, they'd also become bowl eligible. Well, Governor Mark Dayton proclaiming today Small Business Saturday in Minnesota, recognizes the contributions of small businesses and encourages Minnesotans to support their local companies this holiday season. The 513,000 small businesses in the state provide about 50% of our jobs. And Xcel Energy and fire investigators trying to determine what caused the explosion that critically injured a man yesterday in St. Paul. This is MNN.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've messed up your daughter's haircut. Do you A, get spiritual?
Mom, where's the mirror?
Beauty is within. Oh.
B, find the positives?
Less time blow drying, more time texting?
Or C, show empathy?
Mom, you really don't have to.
Twinsies!
I kinda love it. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Hundo P. Hundo P. Adjective. Short for being 100% sure or certain. As in, if we get a puppy, I'll Hundo P always walk it.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. Chance for scattered snow showers today, otherwise overcast. High of 32, winds out of the northwest, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Overcast skies tonight, lows level off around 14. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 18. Temperatures well below average Monday and Tuesday with highs in the mid-teens. A dusting of snow today. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 30.
And welcome back to the Sports Issue here on 1320 KOZY and KOZYRadio.com. Live audio there and live video. And Joe Gigliotti with Sheldon Willis. We're happy to welcome in Greenway Hockey in studio. Sheldon, we have a coach and 3 players.
And here we go. Everyone's representing Greenway Green except the coach, I believe, here. Okay, I missed the pants. They were underneath there. Coach Grant Clafton, and we'll let the players introduce themselves, right? We'll put them on the spot right away.
Cam Lance.
Nikolai Ryla.
Dante Lawson.
Now, Greenway Raider hockey, last year, you guys were all on the varsity team last year, came... And I don't know that I've talked to any of you about hockey since last year's section championship game. Have you ever been in a game with as many highs and lows and intense as that section championship game against Hermantown last year?
Oh, yeah, that was just a crazy game. That was an unforgettable one. I had a lot of memories in that one, and unfortunately we didn't come out on top, but...
I mean, certainly you wanted, the goal was always to make more memories down at the state tournament. That didn't happen, but I was listening to Tom and Bobby lose their minds as I was driving down to cover some other stuff at the cities the next day. Is that game still just like it was yesterday, Nikolai, in your mind?
That game is kind of like an eye-opener. I think a lot of the guys are just ready for this year and just ready to play.
So what was certainly the feeling in the locker room is both exhaustion after a long overtime game and also disappointment because you didn't quite make your goal. What other emotions were going through that locker room after that section game last year?
Besides the tears for the seniors and everyone getting down and stuff, but really it's just we're getting ready for next year. I think like this year coming, and like Nikolai said, everyone learned from it, the older kids, and we're going to help the younger kids get through it.
Well, it was your second year in a row taking on Hermantown. I know I saw you coming off the ice 2 years ago, and it was like, we're coming back and we're going to win next year. And it was, I don't know, was it unlike any game you've been involved in, Coach?
Oh, yeah, I've never seen anything like that game, the way it went with the highs and the lows, like you were saying, and just the way it ended was, just, I mean, even the third period with Cameron scoring with 0.1 seconds left, I mean, for that to happen and then have opportunities in overtime and Dante hitting the pipe and, Billy making the saves he made, like, I mean, it was one of the better hockey games that I've been a part of in my time, for sure.
Yeah, and it was you that had the tying goal with .1. Before that goal, what was the latest you had ever scored in a hockey game, the closest to a horn?
Probably nowhere close to that.
That would be my guess. So talk a little bit now about the off season, and Nikolai, of course, you're playing football this fall, but the other two, you're just concentrating on hockey and getting ready for this winter. Talk a little bit about what the off season and the fall was like. Start with you, Cam.
Just putting in work all summer and trying to be better this season, faster, stronger, working out, and just playing hockey in the fall. And that's it.
Dante?
Pretty much the same thing as Cam, but being a leader on the team, it really just helped the guys, I think, get to the workout room at the arena and get ready for this year.
Now, does it make you feel a little less a part of the team when you're playing football, Nikolai, in the fall and captain's practice is going on and there's things that you can't be involved in, or not really?
Not really. I mean, I play hockey with Dante and Cam and Ben and Christian like year-round, I guess. And then we all do our team workouts, so I always go to those. And then like just being a part of different teams, it's kind of like with both of them, though.
So you get to start out with Grand Rapids, same as last year, where you start out with this rivalry game. Any shine off of this rivalry, or now you got something to defend because you won it last year?
Yeah, they're definitely going to want to come at us and get us, but I think we're going to run them right out of their building. There's
a locker room fodder for you right there. You prepped him to say that, right?
I didn't want him to say it out loud. No, I think that it'll be a pretty good game and competitive game, and I mean, I do think that we're holding over. We have obviously some high goals this year and some high expectations, and for us it starts tonight, and this is just one of 25 games to get ready for the 3 that really matter. And it's a great test and a great environment, and it should be a fun evening.
I asked Coach Nooch this last hour, how do you kind of balance between you want the guys to go full speed in the opener, a lot of excitement, but at the same time not do too much by themselves?
Oh yeah, I mean, you definitely want to stick to the team game and make strides as far as be better today than we were yesterday in practice, and that's kind of what we go after. I mean, we're not going to be perfect tonight. They're not going to be perfect tonight, and I think that's just the reality of it. The team that makes less mistakes is going to win the game. I do think the team that works the hardest is going to win the game, and my expectation is that we will work the hardest, and if we don't, we will work the hardest next week.
You pay for it in practice if the coach doesn't think the effort was there in the game. Is that it, Ken?
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
A non-skating team.
So talk a little bit about how practice has gone. Is 2 weeks of practice so far? Or?
We've had 2 weeks of practice. Like the first week we did 6 a.m., 3:30, 6 a.m., 3:30, 6 a.m., 3:30, throughout the week. So we did 2-a-days throughout the week, and then our scrimmage on Friday against Hill Murray, we did a practice at 2, and then we scrimmaged at 5:30 or 6 o'clock or whatever it was, and then played Cloquet and New Prague the next day, and then back to practice.
So, and Nikolai wasn't in the captain's practice, so what is the biggest difference when the coach gets a hold of you as opposed to the captain's practices that go on before that?
Definitely the flow, I would say. We just had a nice light scrimmage and hang out, and then when he got a hold of us, it was a little bit different.
A little bit different or completely different, Ken?
Yeah, it was completely different. He's kind of an intense guy, as you can probably hear from other people.
Yeah, I've known that about Coach Clafton. Talk a little bit about having an intense guy. Is there ever any confusion about what he's asking for and what he wants, Nikolai?
He definitely gets his point across. There's never a dull moment with him.
And I know I hear old football coaches and old hockey coaches. It sounds like they've been smoking when they get to be my age, it sounds like they've been smoking 3 packs a day for 20 years. Do you wear out your voice as well?
Yeah, my voice does wear out, but I think I'm accustomed to it. Like, I've broken it in pretty good, and I mean, that's generally not a problem. Last year I did actually pull a muscle in my throat, though. It hurt for a while.
So is that the goal, to have the coach pull a muscle in his throat again this year, Donnie?
I don't think so, but if it happens, I won't be too mad. I don't know.
Did you have to tone down the how loud you were?
No, I never tone it down. Fight through it.
Just like he tells you to, right? Fight through the pain and go after it. Talk a little bit about how the scrimmages went. Sounded like some fairly good teams, some AA teams that you were scrimmaging.
Yeah, we played some good teams. Hill Murray was definitely a good team, but we just gotta play with them and play up to their level and stuff.
Did you feel like the top teams that you were scrimmaging, that you were there with them, that you were good enough? How was the flow?
I felt like we definitely could have played with them. We should have beat them, I think, but I don't know. They're more prepared.
Okay. So do you like to lose some of those scrimmages because it gives you a little more, a little bit more to go after them with?
I think the scrimmages for us is a good opportunity to see where kids can fall in, and see where they're going to fit in nice, which we were able to figure out. I mean, we're not, obviously when you're scrimmaging or playing any type of competition, the goal is to win. As far as preparation for the Hill Murray game, I do think that we played about as poorly as we could possibly play, but it wasn't, any fault of the kids. They'd already had 10 practices under their belt by the time we played Hill Murray, and it was in 1 week. So I think that they were, tired, and some of it's a lot of mental, where, fight through it, compete, play through it, and I know you're tired, but, at the end of the day, too bad,
Are the two-a-days, is that something most teams do, or is that something that's kind of a Greenway thing?
I don't know.
Or a Grand Clafton thing?
No, I mean, I think it's something where you're getting the kids to invest early on in the season, and they're putting in a little bit extra, and I don't know what other teams are doing. I don't really care what other teams are doing. I'm more worried about getting our guys ready, and the commitment that they showed and being on time and putting the effort in every single day, and it is asking a lot, but now that they can get a return on their investment, and that's what the goal is.
Chatting with Greenway Hockey here on the Sports Issue. Last year, Ville Haitanen of Finland helping the team to the section championship. How's your goaltending situation this year?
We have 4 capable goalies, that we have, and that's been kind of a nice thing to have as far as in practice, where we can have more than one goalie at practice. Or some days, when we were getting ready for the section final, we had to call up Cassius from the Bantam team because we didn't have any goalies, because for whatever reason, sick or different illnesses or whatever else was going on. So we have 4 goalies that are capable, and it I think them competing against each other will make each other better.
Now, how hard was it to get up at 6 o'clock? By the time you got to you're getting up at what, 5:30, quarter after 5? 5:15 to get to the rink and be ready to be on the ice by 6. How hard was that by the time you get to, Thursday?
Yeah, that was not fun by any means, but, we're just there, just buying into the stuff, and just got to be there early and just get her done.
Was the locker room grumpy at all at 5:45, Nikolai?
No, I think a few guys are always they're always happy, kind of like Dante. He's always getting everybody going. But lots of people sleeping in school, I guess.
Yeah. Did you ditch any classes to take a nap, Dante?
No, I just straightforward fell asleep right in class. I wasn't having it.
Back row, head on the desk, and down you go.
Yeah, Nikolai didn't really have it as hard. He's kind of a late guy.
Showed up at 5:59. Practice at 6.
He did, and I walked right out with him to make sure he was on time, and he was on time.
What was the discipline if you didn't make it on time for the 6 a.m. practice, Nikolai?
We probably would have been begging.
It would have been pretty tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he made it.
Got there. He got
made
there.
it.
Yeah.
That was the plan.
Yeah.
You cut it close. Is that what you're saying? You mentioned Dante being happy all the time. Is that your job on the team, is to keep things light and keep people smiling?
Well, when he's your coach, I gotta do something to keep the guys going.
Do you depend on your captains to keep things that you get to be the bad cop, and then they try to keep people smiling?
Oh yeah, we have a great group of kids, and they're a close knit group, and they're not their job to like me or whatever. I'm more looking for them to really just respect what we're trying to do, and our staff of Surdy and Adam, and we Steve Arbor now on the ice. They're great coaches, and they're nice guys, and I think that these guys know when to they know when to be serious and when to screw around, and I think that that's one of the positive things that they have going for them.
Dante, how do you go about keeping the team upbeat, keeping them positive, like puppet show, or what are we doing?
Cracking some jokes. I don't know.
Well, we on the morning show we always have a joke of the day, a little bit earlier than this, but you have a joke that's available for airplay.
Not really.
Not really. I was just putting you.
Probably not. PG there.
Well, we can go light PG maybe. No, not nothing available.
Locker room talk.
Okay, got it. Well, I was just giving you a chance if that's kind of the backup career there, being a comedian, Dante. As I hear you talk, I hear a little bit of maybe a Herb Brooks attitude in what you're. And everyone laughed. Do you
say the same thing?
You guys say the same thing. So do you have an assistant coach who tries to soften it up a little bit for you, or not really?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think Adam and Sturdy are both really knowledgeable guys, and they're down to earth with the kids, and they do a really good job of kind of explaining what I'm trying to get across.
What you're ranting about, they explain
in
it,
a different mind, and I mean, so I think that really helps out. Yeah.
Would you describe Coach Clafton as an old school coach? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, for sure. He definitely likes to be loud, I'd say, and it definitely gets a point across for sure. But it's nice when you have Sturdy or Adam to kind of get the point across in a different tone, but just kind of take it.
And I guess Northern Minnesota hockey over the years has been known as maybe a little grittier, a little more physical. Is that what you're still trying to do at Greenway? Is play that style of hockey, or is there enough offensive talent? You say no, we want to be a little niftier now.
Well, I mean, I guess there's some pretty boys that want to be like all hands, but I think
not you, Dante.
I think the majority still wants to be kind of like smash mouth hockey or something like that. Play grit.
Well, and I've asked other teams this: who brings the hardest body check? Who's the hardest hitter?
Me.
Cam.
Actually, you know what? He does hit hard. I mean,
Okay.
I'll give him credit for he hits. But he competes, and I mean that's the one thing that Cam has going for him. That being a smaller guy, but I think that I'd have to give the Nikolai Riley, when he hits, you feel it, and but the thing is he never hits, so we don't know how.
You need to step up the volume here.
I
Nikolai.
guess some of the Rabbits get to find out tonight.
So you're getting all kinds of stuff ready to go.
Well, I think right now this kind of adds to we're looking forward to tonight, and we're but we're loose about it, and we respect our opponent, and I mean a lot of these kids are friends with Rapids over here and vice versa. So I mean it's just going to be a really fun evening.
Well, it's always a lot of fun for me as an announcer because you end up knowing kids on both teams, and I get excited no matter who scores. I can't lose tonight, but either team can lose. When we were talking to some of the Grand Rapids players earlier today, they said, "Yeah, we're friends at times, but we haven't talked for a while." We're just like, no, not till after the game. Is that a little bit the way it is right now?
That's pretty much exactly what it is. During the summer, we're all friends, hang out, and then a few weeks before the game, it's pretty much
the faucet's shut off. We haven't had any contact. If you see him, you just cross the street, go to the other side,
turn
right?
your head.
Exactly. Avoid.
Now, and certainly back in the day, you were part of the last iteration of this rivalry before it restarted 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, I was on the other side of it this time.
Yeah, exactly. But there certainly was, so whether it was one team winning too much or just the intensity of the rivalry, how do you keep it still to hockey on the ice and not let it get out of hand? Is there a problem with that or not really anymore?
I don't think there's a problem with it right now because I think I think it's about the game, more so than anything, and two communities coming together and celebrating Northern Minnesota Iron Range hockey and just having a great rivalry that was started years ago. And I mean I think that both communities respect that. I think all the players respect that. And I mean when you're going out there and playing, you're playing, and that's the unique thing about high school hockey is you're playing for your community, you're playing for the tradition, you're playing for your family members who have already gone through the program before you. And I think that's the unique thing about this rivalry, other than being 6 miles apart. You got teams coming back, or common names coming back. I mean, you look at our team, you got the Rylas, you got the Lawsons, you got the Trebojeviches, you got the Jernanders, you got the Vekiches, the Millers. I mean, it just it's the Trombleys. I mean, that's a common name. You look over at Rapids, and you got the Miskovich name resurfacing.
Clafton.
Carter's there. I mean.
Yep.
So I mean, I don't know who else is on their team, but I'm sure there's
There's some others as well, right?
Any relation to Carter Clafton?
Yeah, they're the distant cousins. Like I think his grandpa, or no, his great grandpa and my grandpa are first cousins. So it's
It's down the line
it's
a
like a
ways.
fourth or fifth deal. Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, Sheldon, speaking of cousins, my brother-in-law's cousin is Nick Riola, and we happened to be at the same Thanksgiving on Thursday. So what was your favorite dish at the get-together?
I wasn't very hungry, actually, but I think the turkey is pretty good.
That was pretty good. I'm going to go off the board a bit. I'll say the rolls were my favorite, with a little bit of butter. Good stuff.
So no one overate on Thanksgiving, got sluggish for next day's practice, right? Everyone.
No,
was
we had to go take a run that day, just to get light.
Get stuff.
6 o'clock that night. It's kind of a thing we made a deal with Clafton on. If we ate too much, we'd go for a run.
So how far did you run?
About a mile.
Pretty far.
Pretty far.
Kid ran to the movie theater.
Because there's no cross country runners on this team, right?
Oh, there's a couple.
Are there a couple?
I think that helps them with the some of the skating, but not the stops and starts.
No, exactly. It helps with the wind a little bit, right? And I just, as I looked at my Twitter feed just a moment ago, I see Up North Hockey picks you to win tonight. So, which means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But it does. 2 years ago, you come in as a huge underdog. Is it different to come in as at least a slight favorite by some people?
I think that we're still the underdog. I really do. I mean, we're the little poor single A school that's having to prove themselves, and that's how we got to do it. I mean, and we have to beat a double A team to go to the state tournament. So, we're not the favorite any stretch. I mean, we need to take care of ourselves and do our work, and we need to push the pace and make teams play to us, and then we'll see where we're at.
So do you really buy into that, or do you feel like you're favored tonight? You can only here you can contradict your coach once.
No, I just feel like we're always the underdog. We're always overlooked, but we're definitely going to come in tonight and work our butts off.
And you say always overlooked, but do you think that changes? I would agree with that over the last couple years as this team was building. But there's a lot of returning talent. People will recognize it. If you've been following state hockey, you'll recognize a lot of names. Does it feel like maybe this year's team won't be under the radar quite so much?
Probably not as much as the last few years, but I still feel like we're overlooked a little bit. But like you said, we got a lot of returners this year, and we're looking to do something special.
So schedule-wise, has it changed much from last year? And probably have to give this to the coach because he's the one who works that out with the AD.
It's changed, a fair amount. I mean, we have obviously some repeats, but I mean, I can list them off. I think we play Rapids, East Grand Forks, St. Cloud Cathedral, and then we play Chaska, who's really good, Blake, that's really good, Holy Family, that's really good, Bemidji on Hockey Day in Minnesota. We play Roseau, that'll be a good northern rivalry for us. Moorhead is coming to Greenway, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a fun game.
Because they're
coming
doing
up
that?
to play Rapids, and then they're going to play us.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So they were able to work us in there. We got Alexandria. Our schedule's pretty packed up.
That feels like a few more double-A teams than what
7.
you've had in the past,
Yeah,
right?
I think last year we had Rapids and we had Holy Family and Rosemount, so I think we had 3. So this year we're at 7. Yep.
And some of the top double-A teams, at least very competitive ones in the state of Minnesota.
Right, correct, yeah.
And we didn't bring up Hockey Day in Minnesota. You get to play the host team on Hockey Day in Minnesota. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, that's gonna be a crazy event. That's once in a lifetime right there, and it's just super special. And we're gonna hopefully win that one.
So, and how did that come about? Did Bemidji contact you, or was that through how did that game come about?
Well, I think that Tom Saratori had a lot to do with it in helping us get that game. I know that Wade Chido, who's a good friend of mine, was the coach in Bemidji prior to retiring and moving to Rapids, and I know that he helped out a lot with that. And to be honest with you, I mean, these guys, did their own thing to get it. I mean, I think, obviously, like, the story of our program is unique. The steps that, that these kids have taken to, like you said, not to be overlooked and come back. And I think that it is recognized, and to go back on what you're saying, I don't think we're overlooked. I think that, these kids have, because of their hard work and the success that have actually put a bullseye on themselves a little bit, and they have to come to the responsibility that they got to play up to their end of the bargain if they're that good.
And I see Nikolai and Cam already have the Hockey Day hats rocking too. They look very nice. I like them.
Thanks.
Well, we're as long as we can make all the logistics work, that's on our broadcast schedule. Of course, it'll also be on TV, outdoor game. What's the temperature preference for you, Dante, for an outdoor game? What do you want? You want it 20 below, make it a northern Minnesota day? Or?
Definitely not. I want to feel my toes.
Okay.
So maybe a little bit above zero?
Just above zero, like 5 degrees? What do you say, Nikolai?
I definitely like playing in the cold. I mean, all of us play at the outdoor rinks all the time, all winter long, and I think I don't know if we really come off. We don't really get cold. We just sit out there. Sometimes we'll even sweat a little bit competing, and I think that's just how it should be.
Nikolai wants it cold. What do you say, Cam?
Yeah, I don't really want it cold. I kind of want it like 15 degrees.
There you go.
Not too hot, but not too cold. To keep the ice nice.
Well, and they do have refrigeration on the ice now, right? So
Yeah.
it's not going to melt if you get a...
No, I think that was part of the whole deal, like with Hockey Day, and why it's growing and why it's such a big, event as far as fundraising and stuff like that. Because I think since the Moorhead one, when it was 60 degrees in January or 58 degrees in January, I think everybody's, required to get the coils. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Tonight's going to be a lot of fun. Come early. Tickets go on sale at 4:15.
Yeah.
So I assume you need to be in line before that.
Yeah, they are. I guess so, because they didn't release any tickets early. So I guess that's the way she goes.
So come early, and I've just told people you might as well park in Coleraine and walk. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Thanks for coming out, guys. We'll see you tonight.
All right, thanks.
Greenway Hockey at Grand Rapids tonight, 7 o'clock pregame, 7:30 face-off. You can catch all the action on J105 The Thunder and J105radio.com. We'll be right back to wrap it up.
So some people are asking, what's this warranty for life business? Hey, Max here from Donlier Ford, and here's the deal. We are giving you a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and qualified used vehicles. This means engines, transmissions, transfer cases, all the expensive stuff is covered. Plus, you get roadside assistance for 10 years. We're talking towing, service loaners, jump starts, lockout, gas, battery, water, flat tires, you name it. That's how Donlier's lowers the cost on your next new ride. You always get more for your money at Donlier Ford under the big American flag in Rapids.
And that will wrap up today's edition of the Sports Issue, and it's been brought to you by Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic, Woodland Bank, Donlinger Ford, Anderson Glass, and Super One Foods. Thanks again to Grand Rapids and Greenway Hockey for joining us in studio. And coming up today here on KOZY, Golden Gopher football at Wisconsin, 1:30 pregame, 2:30 opening kick. For Sheldon Willis, I'm Joe Gigliotti. Thanks for joining us for the Sports Issue on KOZY.